This is a tutorial for the Unit 1 Nutrition Applied. The 5 Nutrition Applied assignments in this course account for 35% of your grade, which is the same as the exam. So these are important assignments. You'll find the assignment here and you can download it, as you should. And you'll also notice that the assignment begins with a summary of what you'll do in this assignment or for this assignment. So you're going to use a diet analysis project, and we'll cover that in this tutorial. And then you're going to explore some other topics which are connected to Unit 1. I would point out that there are very explicit directions. So if you follow them, you'll be in good shape. But we are going to give a demo, or I'm going to give a demo of how to record your food intake, how to enter your data, and how to generate the reports. But if you would prefer to read the directions, that works just fine. Now, after you do that, there is a separate part of this assignment. And these assignments are meant to kind of dig in deeper to what is explored in the textbook and the lectures. So the first question here asks you to visit a website, choosemyplate.gov, spend a good amount of time on that website, and then share some information that you found interesting. So you will type directly into these gray spaces. Be sure to be detailed and specific and not general. Show me that you went into the website and did some reading. Make that very clear by sharing specific information. Usually the size of this gray square indicates how much you should be writing, although I won't be counting words. I will clearly be noticing if you don't give me much information. So this should be a couple of paragraphs here. The next question asks you to compare the USDA's MyPlate to Harvard's Healthy Eating Plate, and you'll find this information in your textbook and also at this website. I usually right-click to open a hyperlink, but there are a number of different ways to do that. You can, of course, copy and paste into your browser as well. A question is asked after you look at these two plates, and you need to answer in this space. Toward the end of this assignment, I ask you to use the MyPlate report, and we'll look at that in just 1 minute. I'm asking you to analyze the report in a way to tell me which food groups you're not consuming enough of, less than 100% of goal, and which one more than 100% of goal. So we'll look at that in just a minute. And then finally, at the end of every assignment is a section called Healthy Eating Made Doable. Nutrition's pretty complex. It's a science-based discipline. We really get into the weeds, as we should in a college nursing focused nutrition class. But it's also very important that we are able to translate all this information and make it simple, to come up with some simple, practical, and realistic strategies. You'll use what you studied in the unit to create the strategies, but be sure to read this very carefully as far as what types of strategies you should be indicating. Okay, so those are the questions you have to answer. Now, what we're going to do now is kind of go back to the beginning and talk about this recording your food intake, entering it into the iProfile. To record your food intake, you need to record for 3 days that are fairly typical of your intake. So don't choose a fast day, don't choose a party day, don't choose a day that your food habits or your food choices are very, very different than normal. Choose normal for you. You also shouldn't choose a perfect day if your diet isn't perfect. You're not going to be graded on whether your diet is closer to the recommendations or further away. You want to use your actual usual intake. So for 3 days, you'll record every single thing that you eat and drink. Sodas and water and fast food and alcohol and snack foods and seasonings, every little thing that you eat and drink. That's very, very important. The portions and the details about those foods. More detailed, the better in terms of this. The next step is the data entry, and it is described here, but we're going to take a peek at this together. So here is your Canvas course. You're going to go into the iProfile that comes with your Wiley Plus. Okay, so the first thing you'll do, this is a diet analysis program. Up in the top right, there are some little tutorials. I will also tell you the help section is very, very extensive. There's lots of good information on here. It's like a dictionary or encyclopedia, so look at that as well. But you're going to start by entering your profile. So that means you will fill in, well, let's see if we can. I'm not sure. I've made a lot of profiles. You can create a new profile here. So maybe you will put Susan and add your birthday. Let's see. Add your height and weight, your gender for sure. Be sure to mark that off. Okay, and your activity level. That gets a little bit tricky. You can go over here to read about activity levels and how to know whether you're sedentary, low active, or very active. A lot of us tend to overestimate how active we are and whether you're a smoker or a vegetarian. Then you save the changes. Okay. The next thing you'll do, and this is the one that's time consuming, but please take note that we only do this once in this class. So you'll record 3 days and then use those 3 days for the entire 6 weeks of the semester. What we're going to do here is enter 3 days of the foods that we've written down into the food journal. So you'll start by clicking the date on the calendar. Then you'll go to the left side and you'll enter in your first food or drink. Then you'll get a big old list of all sorts of foods with that term or terms in it, and choose the closest match. So it's left, left. Then you hop up to the right, you adjust the portion and add it to a meal. Okay, so let's say we did some fast food for breakfast. Okay, they have fast food in there. There are some cultural foods in there, all sorts of things. Sometimes you might hit an area where you can't find a perfect match, and then you can choose the closest to it. As far as foods that you prepare at home, let's say if you made your own chicken Caesar salad. So I might then itemize the ingredients that were on my plate. Let's see if I can find some broiled chicken. Oh, it doesn't correct spelling errors. Okay. Didn't find anything there. So let me try this. Okay, that looks close. And that's going to go on my salad. You get it, right? You keep going. Maybe I had some Caesar dressing. And I like dressing, so I'm going to adjust this to more. And we keep adding like that. Now, after I finish one full day, I'm going to go to the next 3 days, remember, and fill out all the meals. You might not eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but you need to enter all of the foods. You don't have to have something for breakfast if you don't eat breakfast. So we might say cheese pizza sounds about right, but I had 4, and you'll fill out the second day and then the third day. Now the final part of this is to save the reports. There is a screenshot of this on your homework paper, so you can read that. But essentially what you're going to do is set the left side of the calendar to the first day of record keeping, the right side to the last day of record keeping. Okay, set your calendars because that tells the program what days to include. First day, last day. Then go to Wizard. Okay, you're going to choose the reports that are required and they're listed. And they are these reports. Okay, and then you're not going to click export, you're going to click print to generate a PDF. Okay, so we're going to look at these reports for just a minute. Now you'll want to save these reports because you're going to use them for homework 2 and homework 3 and homework 4, so be sure to save them. But you also want to look through them because these are very nice reports that show what you're eating and how it compares to recommendations. Now in the first unit we only look at one report, which is the My Plate report, but we'll use the others throughout the semester here. So we have the macronutrient distribution, your food journals, yours of course will be much more complete. Your intake compared to your recommendation, you'll use that quite a lot as well, and the intake spreadsheets which break everything down for every nutrient. Now for this homework, remember that it said something about the My Plate report, and were you getting too much, above 100%, or too little? In the case of Susan, I think her name was, you can clearly see that it's too little and everything except for the empty calories, which went above. And I didn't even enter a full 3 days. Now you'll want to save this file because you're going to turn this in. So save it wherever you save your work, whether that's your desktop or your flash drive or out in the cloud somewhere. Because the last step of all of this, so we're going to get out of iProfile, is to submit your assignment. So hold on for just a minute because I want to switch to Student View so I can show you how to submit your assignment. So this is the Student View and this is the Nutrition Applied. You see a Submit Assignment button. You're going to click on that Submit Assignment button and you're going to send me 2 files. One is going to be the homework, the actual document that has your questions answered. Okay, but I need another. And the second file is going to be the iProfile that we just downloaded, and I think that's it. Okay, try to name your files something so we don't get them confused. And then you're going to hit the submit. Let's double check. We got it. Hit the submit, and there you go. So that is your tutorial for the first Nutrition Applied assignment. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me, and I can meet with you on Zoom if you'd rather meet face-to-face. Take care.